Let's take a look at this data. I come up here in A2 and go Control-Shift down, Control-Shift right, and looking up here I can see that this is called data. Now we're going to look at how often this data appears in each one of these bins. Notice these bins have been set up with a special formula that will do equal size bins for our data. Here are the equations that we'll be using. Let's go up and try this. First of all, the frequency. We'll talk about this bin formula a little bit later. As we examine frequency, it depends on what's in the bin size next to it. If I have something that's between 50 and 100, I need to know what this lower bin number is. So this will be a multiple cell array. I will type in equals frequency. Data is the name of what we're looking at. And it wants the bin array. That goes from G3 through G12. By habit, I'll put the absolute sign on, although it isn't necessary in this case. And I'll hit Control-Shift-Enter. As you can see, we now know that there are 5 that are 50 or less, 9 that go from 50 to 100, and so forth. Let's also see what percent they are, just like we did before. So equals H3 divided by the sum of, and all of the frequencies, F4, that is important there, and enter, and then we'll copy it down. Now, as you can see, I've built a chart that depends on this histogram. This is a homemade chart. I would like to introduce you to some other tools as well. To get to these new tools, we'll go to File, Options, Add-ins, and I want to add in this Analysis Tool Pack that has been shipped with your Excel but is not active right now. Not the VBA one, just the Analysis Tool Pack here. And so I'll click on it. Down here I'll choose Excel Add-ins and say Go. With that, I can see this add-in box, and I'm going to click on this top one, Analysis Tool Pack, and say OK. When I do that, you can see over here in Data, under Analysis, we also have Data Analysis now. Another way to do this, if you have the Developer tab, is go here, click on Excel Add-ins, and we come right to this add-in screen where I can click on the box. Now let's try this out. Data, Data Analysis, and it will bring this up. You can see there are quite a few tools here that we could use, from correlation, covariance, ANOVA, different tests, Fourier, histogram, moving average, and so forth. We're going to select the histogram and see how that compares. So I'll say OK. It's asking for an input range. My input range is A2 through E21, or we know the name is called data. Next, we will use the bins that we find over here, so G3 through G12. Let's put the output on this sheet. So I'll come over here and maybe just somewhere up here. And before we do anything else, let's also add a chart. And I'll say OK. Notice we have a similar table with all the frequencies and a histogram chart that we can adjust to look like however we want. Excel continues to provide many tools to help us do things quicker. We can either use some of these other tools or we can create these ourselves. It isn't that difficult, but many people don't know how to use multi-cell arrays, so they now have a tool available as well.